Welcome to Open for Business, the Gallatin Valley's only local business and consumer talk show featuring Tom Egelhoff, the Man Entrepreneur magazine radio called the leading authority in the United States for doing business in small town. Here he is, speaker, author, small business consultant, and Mrs. Egelhoff's favorite son, Tom Egelhoff.
All right, welcome everyone. Open for Business. We air every Saturday live from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Mountain Time on AM 1450 KMMS in Bozeman, 1340 KPRK in Livingston, Montana. If you'd like to be a part of the big broadcast, go to kmmsam.com and click Listen Live. The call-in number during the show, 406-522-TALK, 406-522-8255. I'm here, you're here. Let's get the show on the road. All right, thank you, Dan. Welcome back, everyone. 55 degrees outside. It's 25 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Saturday, May 28, 2016. And I want to welcome you to the podcast portion of Open for Business. Each week, I share some tips and tricks I've learned over the years about advertising, marketing, promotion, and building strong, successful businesses. And I do these Open for Business podcasts live every Saturday between 11:30 and noon Mountain Time from the studios of AM 1450 KMMS in Bozeman and 1340 KPRK in Livingston, Montana. And, of course, we're streaming worldwide on the web at kmmsam.com. So if you missed any of my previous podcasts, you'll find them all on my YouTube channel or my website at smalltownmarketing.com. That's smalltownmarketing.com. Go about halfway down the homepage on the left side, and you'll find a link to the podcast page so you can catch up on any of my podcasts that you might have missed. Now, today's topic, I want to talk about customer service because it has nothing to do with the customer. The inspiration for this podcast came to me as I was hurling through space at 35,000 feet, and I found myself thinking about how much customer service in the airline industry has changed in recent years. Politically incorrect stewardesses are now politically correct flight attendants. I guess it won't be long before the pilot's a horizontal thrust technician. I don't know. But a few years ago, airlines made some drastic changes. Due to the increased cost of jet fuel, airlines began charging for overweight bags, extra bags, things like that. Pillows and blankets on many flights were first class only, or you had to pay for them, or there were no longer perks anymore. There's a new level of customer service that we're seeing, and airlines, in my opinion, are clearly defining the new meaning of customer service for businesses in the future. And they're not alone. Many businesses are taking the customer out of customer service. Let me repeat that. Many businesses are taking the customer out of customer service. So I, like you, have attended many customer service seminars, I guess, in my 40-year sales career, but for the most part, all these seminars came down to the same one or two takeaway points. One, exceed the customer's expectations, and two, the customer is always right. Well, today I want to dispel both those myths, and I'll start with the myth of good service. So my contention is this. In today's marketing environment, the customer has little to do with the delivery of good customer service. And believe it or not, that's a good thing, and here's why. Before advancing my theory, we need to first clearly define what customer service actually is. So customer service has two extremes. First, delivering service so bad that it would soon put you out of business, and two, delivering service so good that the cost of delivering that service would be economically impossible. So limo rides to your store, free plane tickets for out-of-town shoppers, good service, you bet, but not economically feasible. So here is my definition of good customer service. Write it down, share it with your employees. Good customer service is the very best service you can deliver day in and day out and still be profitable. Let me repeat that. Good customer service is the very best service you can deliver day in and day out and still be profitable. Now, I can't get a steak at McDonald's. They can't do that for me and remain profitable. That's a level of customer service they can't deliver. So next, let's look at how my theory works in today's world using the airlines as an example. When airports started frisking people and using full-body scanners, it was all over the news and in a lot of their advertising. It's not our fault, the airlines explained. The devil, a.k.a. the government, made us do it. When they started a separate charge for extra or overweight bags, we were also informed about that both in the news and in airline marketing and promotional ads. So my question is this. are the airlines exceeding my customer service expectation with body scanning, random pat-down searches, extra charges for luggage, no meals, stale cookies, and additional charges for pillows and blankets? If I, the customer, who is always right, still desires those things, isn't that the absolute definition of lousy service? Well, the short answer might be no. The airlines could continue all the old services, but what would be the end result of doing that? Lower profit margins, fewer stockholders, coupled with an increased employee cost, flight expense to serve the same number of passengers. So what did the airlines do that more and more companies are doing to provide the best service they can deliver day in and day out and still be profitable? What they did is very simple. Instead of trying to meet an undefined level of customer expectations, they simply prepared us through news, releases, and advertising the level of service we should expect. And then they meet that level of service. Yeah, there are times when higher levels of service are required when mistakes are made. However, more and more businesses are discovering that preparing the customer in advance of dealing with you what level of service to expect, that will result in a happier, more easily satisfied customer. So your service level must fit your business model. Does Walmart have trained sales associates in each department? Why not? Wouldn't that improve their service? Well, it would violate their low-price business model. Does Nordstrom's or Macy's have sales associates in each department? Yes, they do. Will a shirt cost a little more at Nordstrom's or Macy's than at Walmart? Of course. But I don't go into Walmart with the expectation that I'm going to get Nordstrom service or quality at low rollback prices. So we all want happy, satisfied customers leaving our stores. So what's the definition of a happy customer? I came, I saw value, I saw my price point, I bought with no hassles, I'm happy, and I'll tell all my friends about the great service I received. Are your customers prepared for a positive shopping experience when they're ready to do business with you? If your customer defines the level of service they're expecting and you don't deliver, then you'll always have an unhappy customer who will have no problem telling all other people about you. If, on the other hand, you define the level of service in your marketing and advertising messages that you're prepared to deliver to your customer, and you meet that level of service, you'll have a much better chance of creating a long-lasting, profitable relationship with that customer. And that's the podcast. If you missed any of my previous podcasts, you'll find them all on my YouTube channel or at my website, smalltownmarketing.com, smalltownmarketing.com. Go about halfway down the homepage on the left side, and you'll find a link to the podcast page so you can catch up on any of my podcasts that you might have missed. So tune in each Saturday, and let's build successful businesses together.